the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. Starring that jet-A Jerry Lace, Rocket J. Squirrel, and his pal, Bullwinkle the Moose.
Hi, glad to see you again.
Likewise.
We got some great things on the show today.
Like what? Like what?
Well, you ought to know, Bullwinkle. You're in some of them.
Well, let's get started.
Well, when last we saw Bullwinkle and Rocky, they were plunging straight downward toward... You're not plunging down.
We are, too.
You're going straight.
Ridiculous.
But...
You're just looking at the picture wrong.
Yeah, turn your head sideways.
No, the other way.
Oh, well, that's better. Yes, our heroes were plummeting toward the ocean far below.
That's better.
But first, a brief word about the plot.
Very brief.
It all started a few days ago with Professor von Beche's theory of the polar flip.
Yeah, you see, the ice at the North Pole is getting heavier and heavier, and the whole world's starting to flip over this way, which means that the new North Pole, or as we call it, the West Pole, will be somewhere in the Pacific Ocean.
But if we get there and melt the ice, maybe it'll flip back again.
So that's why we were headed west when we ran out of gas.
I still think we're headed west.
Yeah, maybe we better bail out, Bullwinkle.
Bail out? We're not sinking, Rock. We're falling.
If only we had a little more gas.
Well, maybe we brought along an extra can. Let's look through the luggage.
Good idea, Rock. Let's see. Here's some ice skates, a wiffle tree bolt.
Hey, what's in here?
Don't open that.
Gee, what was that?
That was my collection of soap bubbles.
Say, here's a copy of the Congressional Record.
What's that for?
I use it to press flowers in. Let's see, 3 pounds of Gruffy dust.
Bullwinkle, that's it.
Gruffy dust? We gotta wait till the dark of the moon if we're going to
No, the Congressional Record.
I don't want to quibble, Rock, but this is no time to catch up on your reading.
You don't understand. This is a jet plane, right?
Right.
And a jet is nothing but a lot of hot air, right?
Right.
Well, where are you going to find more hot air than there is in the Congressional Record?
Mr. Squirrel, this is a scintillating hypothesis.
And a pretty bright ID, too.
In a twinkling, a connection was made, and Bullwinkle began to read the Congressional Record into the plane's fuel system.
Mr. Speaker, the glorious history of the grain and feed industry as reflected in the production figures for the period 1907 to 1912 is...
Bullwinkle, it's working. Keep it up.
For our American system and our children's children against the encroachment of the forces of international outlawry and the abandonment of our precious heritage of...
Hooray!
We're saved!
She's never flown better.
Yes, apparently there was enough hot air in that single volume of the Congressional Record to propel a 4-engine jet clear around the world.
Wait till the boys at Cape Carnivorous hear about this.
Okay, Captain Peach Fuzz, which way do we go?
Forward, Rocky, always forward.
No, on the map.
Oh, that. Well, let me get it in a better light. We are heading past E.A.War.
E.A.War? That's an odd name.
It's Welsh, Rocky. In Wales, that means the place where the geese run barefoot.
Could I see that map, Captain?
Certainly, Professor. There it is. E.A.War.
Captain, you're holding the map against the light and reading it backwards.
Oh?
That's really Hawaii.
In Wales? Ridiculous.
Oh, boy.
Meanwhile, back at the Moose...
Like to place in the record the names of the Shawnee Falls Arbor Day Committee, Lavinia Waggle, Arthur Grinker. Boy, this is dull stuff. Whitney Clapsaddle, Bernard Walkenfuss.
Yes, it was dull. So dull that within 3 minutes, everybody within hearing distance of Bullwinkle was sound asleep.
Had the plane flew onward to without a... Be with us next time for...
Freebird, Darwin J. Hatch, Ella Hughes Beagle, Horace Fairbanks, spirits are about to speak.
Are they friendly spirits?
Friendly? Just listen.
Many years ago in a primeval pond there were many frogs, but there was one frog among them who was different from all the rest. His mother called him Julius.
Julius, you sit around all day doing nothing. Why don't you go out and play leap people with the other frogs?
Thanks, but no thanks.
Oh, what is the matter with you, Julius? You haven't touched your lunch.
People have more fun than frogs.
Yes, I guess they do. Now eat your flies.
But it's no fun eating flies. In fact, being a frog is no fun, you know. If you want to have fun, you got to be a people because...
I know. People have more fun than frogs.
Yes, that was the trouble with Julius. People did have more fun than frogs, and he knew it. For many was the time he would sit by the road leading to the great kingdom and watch the people as they passed. They were all having fun. Julius couldn't stand it any longer, and knowing that he could never be happy unless he was a people, while the little frog hopped off into the dark woods to do something about it. By noon that same day, he arrived at the house of his fairy frog mother.
So you want to be a people, do you, Julius?
More than anything. Can you do it?
Well, of course. All I have to do is tap you with my wand, like this.
It worked, for he began to grow, and suddenly... Unfortunately, there are all types of people, and Julius had turned into the type that is fat and bald with a long nose. It's quite possible that Julius would have had fun, but for one thing. The first person he chanced to meet was the local bully.
Hey, Fatso, come here.
Yes?
Hey, let me see if that nose is real. Hey, what do you know it is? Boy, I'd like to have that thing full of nickels.
And from that moment on, everywhere Julius went, people laughed at it. Now, this is no fun, even if you are a people. So Julius returned to the house of his fairy frog mother.
Well, land's sake, why didn't you tell me you wanted to be a handsome people?
Never mind. The point is, could you do it now?
Well, certainly. I simply have to tap you with my wand and...
When the smoke cleared, he had been changed into a fine, strong, handsome young man. Now, certain that he could begin to have fun as a handsome people, Julius hurried back to town. It was then that another unfortunate thing happened. The evil king of a neighboring kingdom declared war. And Julius was drafted. Army life was not easy on Julius.
Name?
Julius will run us.
Where were you born?
In a pond in New Jersey.
Very funny. Sign here. Next.
Good heavens, where did you get those flat feet?
Well, it's simple, you know, like you say, I'm really a frog and...
Very funny. Next.
Turn your head and cough.
Hey, hey, he, hey, hey, her, hey!
There were months of drilling, marching, and intensive training. Then finally, Julius was marched into battle where his luck ran true to form, for Julius was the first casualty. Weeks later, when he was released from the hospital, Julius once again hurried to his fairy frog mother.
I'm telling you, frog mother, I could not stand to go through a thing like that again, you know. So, like, you gotta make me 4F.
All righty. All I have to do...
I know, tap me with your wand, but not so hard.
A tap of that little frog mother's wand was enough to make anybody 4F. So, for the third time, Julius headed for town to have fun as a people. He'd only gone a short distance along the road when he suddenly heard a startling sound. And there, just ahead, he saw a large, vicious dog that had chased someone up a tree.
Go away, shoo, scat.
Then...
It's safe to come down now. Jump and I will catch you. Well, I will be. I did not know that dogs treat pigs.
I'm not a pig, silly. I'm a princess, and because you saved my life, you get to marry me.
Marry yuck, you?
Yes, isn't it romantic?
Here, boy. Here, boy.
I'll have Father arrange for the wedding right away.
No.
Hey, come back!
This time it was a desperate Julius that ran to the house of his fairy frog mother.
I never want to be a people again. Change me back into a frog, mother. Hurry, hit me with your wand.
Can't. Broke it over your head when I made you 4F. But there is a way. If you can just hold out until the clock strikes 12, the spell will be broken, and you'll turn back into a frog all by yourself.
Peekaboo!
Julius ran like a deer for the next 5 hours. Then, when it seemed as though he simply couldn't take another step, the big clock in the tower struck 12. And with a blinding flash, Julius turned back into a frog. And he never did have any fun. Now, one would admit that this is rather a sad tale of a frog, but don't feel too badly because not a word of it is true, for you see, it's a well-known fact that frogs don't have tails.
And now for a word to the not-so-wise, here's Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, knowledge seekers. Today's subject is how to train your doggy for fun and profit. To train a doggy, you need two things. A trainer, that's me, and a doggy. A small doggy. That's better. The first thing to do is to make friends with the doggy. Take his little paw in yours and shake hands just like he was... Next, the doggy should be trained to come when you call. Come here, boy. Come on. Other boy, come here. Come here. Here, maybe? Here? All right, you doggone dog, stay there. See, it just takes a firm hand and a... where'd it... Oop! But the most important thing is to let the doggy know just who is the master. Look into his eyes and say, you will sit up and beg. You will sit up and beg. You will sit up and beg.
Gee, are you all right, Bullwinkle?
Sure, Rocky.
Okay, then. Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
You're certainly welcome.
It was springtime in the Rockies, the Canadian Rockies, that is, and all the marigolds were in bloom. People would come from miles around to see the marigolds. All the people except Dudley Do-Right. He was allergic to marigolds.
Salute, Gesundheit.
It's these marigolds. I can't stand them.
Allergic, eh? Well, that's too bad, Dudley, too bad. You see this package, Homer?
Quick-growing marigolds. I didn't know you went into the horticulture, Snidely.
I don't. What I'm going to do is plant them on my suit.
Oh. Did you say plant them on your suit?
Yes, Homer, and by morning I'll have a full crop of marigolds.
On your suit?
That's right, Homer. A marigold Snidely suit. Now hand me the peat moss.
I knew I should never have got that subscription to Better Homes and Gardens.
What you don't understand is that Dudley Do-Right is allergic to marigolds. With this suit, I will be invincible.
And so the next day...
How do I look, Homer?
You look just like a float in a rose parade.
Meanwhile, at the mounting camp...
Dudley, will you walk with me? The marigolds are in bloom.
I'm sorry, Dell. I have something else to do.
Well...
How could I tell her that Dudley Do-Right of the Mounties is allergic to marigolds?
Good thing you're here, Do-Right. All the other Mounties are out looking at the marigolds. Snidely Whiplash is in town, boasting that he's not afraid of you, Dudley, and that he'll meet you any time you're ready.
What's that, Inspector? Why, I'll ride into town at once and bring him in.
Not ride, Dudley. Walk. Your horse is looking at the marigolds with Nell.
So Dudley walked to town to bring Snidely in.
Snidely Whiplash, I arrest you in the name of...
There, what did I tell you? Dudley Do-Right is scared to death of me.
Listen, Dudley, everyone in town is saying you ran away from Snidely Whiplash, that you were scared to death. Well, I won't have it. Gives the Mounties a bad name. I want you to go right back into town and not come back till you bring him in. And that is an order.
So Dudley tried bandaging his nose, hoping in this way not to breathe the deadly fumes of the marigolds. And with his bandaged nose, Dudley didn't breathe in the fumes of the marigolds. Dudley couldn't breathe at all.
Air! Air! Help!
Dudley tried a gas mask, but that didn't work either.
Help! Help! Help!
What is the matter, Dudley? Is it because I took your horse to see the marigolds?
Don't mention the word marigold to me, Nell. I'm allergic to them.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people are allergic.
But I'm not people, Nell. I'm a Mountie. And besides, Snidely Whiplash is wearing a marigold suit.
A marigold suit?
I can't get within 2 feet of him.
Well, who would want to?
But you don't understand. I've got to bring him in or the inspector won't let me back in the camp.
Listen, Dudley, I have a plan. I'll sneak over to Snidely's shack and plant some crabgrass on his marigold suit.
Do you think it'll work?
You know what crabgrass does to marigolds.
Did you water Miss Suit, Homer?
I left the sprinklers on for 15 minutes like you said.
I did it, Dudley. I planted Snidely's suit with crabgrass.
The next morning, however, there was no crabgrass growing on Snidely's suit.
Go ahead, Dudley. Take him.
But now the marigolds are still there. There's no crabgrass at all.
Well, that's funny. I planted the crabgrass. I used fertilizer. Oops, I forgot to water it. But don't worry, I'll fix that.
Nell, my allergy is gone.
Well, now all you have to do is cut through the crabgrass and Snidely is yours.
I'm halfway through the crabgrass, and I still haven't found Snidely.
Well, keep at it. He's bound to be in there someplace.
That was close, Homer.
Are you going to plant some more marigolds in your suit, Snidely?
No, Homer.
Snidely doesn't seem to be there at all, Nell.
Dudley, I don't know how to tell you this, but I think that's Snidely. Poor Snidely.
Inspector, I brought in Snidely Whiplash.
Where?
In that bag.
Dudley, that's not Snidely Whiplash. That's a bag full of crabgrass. And I'm very allergic to crabgrass.
But, Inspector...
Oh, come on, Dudley. He'd never believe us anyway.
Harvey Flitch, Casper Puddingstone, Marvin Geld, Elizabeth Ogle, Sinbad Brittle,
What? Oh, yes. In our last episode, Bullwinkle began to read the congressional record into the fuel system of our hero's jet plane to provide them with enough hot air to fly to their destination. There was plenty of hot air, all right, but unfortunately, he ran across the membership list of the Shawnee Falls Arbor Day Committee, and the steady drone of names soon put everybody to sleep.
Including the narrator.
Yes. As a result, I don't know where we are now. Do you, Rocky?
No? Do I what?
Oh, never mind. Captain Peach Fuzz? Avast the fan-tailing capstan, the landlubber, and... what'd you say? Professor Von Beige?
Let's sign up with the other side, Otto. Those Russian winters allow...
Professor, where are we?
We are there, that's where.
Where is there?
There's where is there.
Sure enough, when our heroes looked down, they saw a small Pacific island directly beneath them.
Gee, it's sure pretty.
That's the new North Pole?
Jawohl.
Sure ought to pep up the tourist trade.
I wonder if the natives are friendly.
Well, we'll soon find out.
That was true, for at that moment, down on the island, a band of natives was preparing a big welcome for the boys under the direction of the native chief, whose name was... what is your name, Chief?
Aloha, Kimosabi. Allow me to introduce myself. Colonel Oglethorpe Peachtree. This is my partner, Magnolia Blossom.
Those are odd names to find in the Pacific.
You forget, Sonny boy, this is the South Pacific.
Oh, but you're really Boris and...
You're giving away the plot.
Don't be a snitch, darling.
Oh, this is terrible. You're in charge of the island?
You saw it, kid, and what a welcome we give.
Welcome?
We've been practicing for weeks. First big fire dance, moose and squirrel get hot food from whole tribe. Then big 2-course dinner cooked in individual casseroles.
The dinner?
Right. squirrel stew, and fricassee of moose.
But that's practically a meal for cannibals.
What do you think these boys are, vegetarians?
Colonel, darling, it's time to send invitations.
Right, Miss Magnolia.
And Boris quickly scrawled invitations on a number of huge bombs, and his gang of bloodthirsty cannibals began to load them into a primitive weapon.
Ready? Aim. Fire.
The bomb hurtled on its way, but it didn't go unobserved.
Unidentified flying object off the port bow, or is it the starboard?
Unidentified my foot. That's a flying bomb.
You mean somebody shooting at us?
But that's impossible. In the guidebook, it says the natives are known to be friendly.
It does.
It says they're known to be harmless.
It does. There's another thing we know about them, too.
What's that?
They don't read guidebooks.
Listen, we come in peace. Oh, careful, Captain, or you'll come in pieces.
Gee, those things are getting awful close.
Take it easy, Bullwinkle. There's only one you gotta worry about.
Which one is that?
The one that has your name on it.
And at that instant, a bomb hurtled through the window and landed in Bullwinkle's arms.
Say, Rock, guess what this one says on it?
Rocky and Bullwinkle?
How'd you guess?
And our heroes floated rapidly down toward the spear-brandishing mob beneath them. Be sure to see our next ticklish episode, 6 o'clock low, or Bullwinkle Gets the Point.
Well, I guess that about wraps up another Rocky show.
Certainly hope you enjoyed it. I did. I always say.
Bullwinkle, time for us to go.
Already? Okay, but first, here are some of the people who made this show impossible. My fingers get tired. Oop! Got away from me again.
Well, see you next time. Ready, Bullwinkle?